readers, yesterday we worked on some fluency. One of the things that I told you that I noticed that a lot of you were concerned about was reading better out loud. So yesterday we talked about how you can read more fluently by reading punctuation correctly. Well, today we're going to do one more quick fluency lesson, and it is readers read fluently by using dialogue tags. I see some dialogue tags. You guys will know exactly what they are in just 1 second. You probably just haven't heard them called that, okay? Dialogue. When you're reading fiction books, there's lots of people talking. That's the dialogue. And immediately when you see the quotation marks, you know someone's talking, right? The dialogue tag is the part that tells you who is talking. It's also the part that tells you how they sound. So they're really important. When we read dialogue tags, though, we use our normal voice, and our voice changes when we read the dialogue. So, let me give you an example. I have some dialogue copied out of Charlotte's Web. It's at the very beginning of Charlotte's Web, and I'm going to give you just a little bit of background because you have to kind of know what's going on before you can read dialogue correctly. Mr. Arable is out at the hog house, and he's getting ready to kill the runt pig because he knows that it's not going to survive. And when Mrs. Arable told Fern, she became very upset and she ran out to the hog house. And we're right at this part where she ran out to the hog house. Okay? So I'm going to show you where the dialogue tags are, and I'm going to talk about and model how it would sound, the first one, and then we're going to try it on the other ones. Okay? So, yesterday I talked about our brain has to do lots of things when we're reading out loud. Our eyes have to scan forward to see what the end mark's going to look like so we know what our voice is going to do. Well, the same thing happens when you're reading dialogue. Your eyes have to scan and you have to look at the dialogue tag to decide how it would sound before you actually say it. And if you pay attention to the dialogue tags, you read more fluently. So, on this one, the dialogue is, please don't kill it, it's unfair. And the dialogue tag on this one is in the middle. It's not before or after, it's in the middle of the dialogue. So who's talking? She sobbed. So I know it's Fern, and how is she talking?
She's like sobbing.
She's sobbing, okay? So, if you're paying attention to your dialogue tags, you know that these words you're going to say like you're sobbing, and then your dialogue tag, you just use your story voice, and then you go back to sound like Fern. So the one way that you can really make this sound right is think about Fern. Think about an hysterical child wanting to stop their father from killing this baby pig. And she's sobbing. Okay? Please don't kill it! She sobbed. See how I changed back to my normal voice when I said she sobbed? We wouldn't say she sobbed with that dialogue voice. We'd use our story voice. So when we practice this in our head right now, I want you thinking about how she would sound, and then you use your regular voice to read the dialogue tag, and then go back to the character. So we have a dialogue tag here. She sobbed. How's she going to sound? Okay. Next dialogue tag is, he said gently. Oh, I know that's her father, and I know it's a father trying to calm down their child. He's going to sound different than her, isn't he? And then the next dialogue tag is, yelled Fern. Oh my goodness. She must be really upset because she's yelling at her father.
If I yelled at my father, I'd be in really big trouble.
Okay, so we're going to try this like we did yesterday, but you're going to include the dialogue tags today. So you're going to read the dialogue, and then I want you to read the dialogue tag. 1. Give me a thumb. You are Mr. Arable. You are a calm parent trying to settle down your upset child. 2. You're Fern and you are upset. Are you ready?
Yeah.
We're not going to read this part about him stopping. We're going to just read the dialogue, okay? Kind of like we're in a little play. Here we go. Fern, go.
It's unfair! Fern, you will have to learn to control yourself. Control myself? No, Fern. This is a matter of life and death. And you're talking about controlling myself?
Good. You guys had that really good. I noticed that your voice changed back to just your storytelling voice when you was reading the dialogue tags. I noticed that you were trying to use expression. And if you do this, even when you're reading in your head, if you think about how the author would sound, it really helps you make that mental picture better. Because then you can hear what's going on. You can hear Fern sobbing. You can hear the dad trying to be calm. Same thing works in your head when you're doing it silently as it does out loud. Okay, switch. My new Ferns, are you upset?
Yes.
My new Mr. Arables, are you calm?
Yes.
Okay. We're not screaming now because we have people next door. We're just going to try to show the emotion, but we're not going to be really loud. Okay? Here we go.
Please don't kill it, she sobbed. It's unfair. Fern, Sister Debbie, you have to learn to control yourself. Control myself? This is a matter of life and death. And you're talking about controlling myself?
Awesome. Okay, so you become more fluent reader when you read out loud, when you pay attention to those dialogue tags. You also understand your reading better when you're reading in your head if you pay attention to the dialogue tags, because then you're able to make mind movies. Okay? Today when you're reading, we're going to do lift a line. You guys all know how to do it. The line you're going to lift is a piece of dialogue. When you lift the line, you're going to write it, and then you're going to talk about how the dialogue lets you know how it's supposed to sound, how the dialogue tag. So let me use this, please don't kill it, she sobbed, it's unfair. I would lift that line, I would write it down, and then I would say, the dialogue tag says she sobbed, so I know she's crying, and she's probably talking loud because she's upset. So I'm going to lift the line. I'm going to talk about how the dialogue tag helped me understand what the dialogue would sound like. Turn and talk to your partner about what it is you're going to do today while you're reading.
Dialogue tag, and then you're going to talk about what you think it would sound like.
The most interesting lines.
So would we
Lots
say
of them.
that?
Then with that.
Okay, so one thing that I want to clarify, and I heard most of you say it, is you're going to lift a line with dialogue today. And your job today is to think about that dialogue tag and how that would sound, and I want you writing about that. And I want you explaining to me how the dialogue helped you the dialogue tag helped you understand what it would sound like. Because if you were reading it out loud, your brain would be doing that. Your brain would see, oh, she's sobbing, I know what I need to sound like, and you'd make it sound like a sobbing child when you were reading it out loud. Okay? When you read it in your head, you do the same type of thing. Today, lift a line with dialogue, write down how the dialogue tag helped you understand what it sounded like. Off you go.